couple days ago, I attempted to sit down and make a video, but I felt I wasn't able to convey my message properly, and that led me to not posting the video. Today, one of my colleagues at work who I was close with, he lost his life on the job site, and it got me thinking a lot about life and why we're here, and I felt it made me more capable to convey my message across, following obviously what he went through. So essentially what I want to get across to you is that what you make of your life is entirely up to you. And the reason people think that there's a meaning to life is because they want their lives to have a meaning. But people fall into the trap of thinking that we're special and that we're like these spiritually ascended beings that are like gods walking the earth, and like I just feel that that's not the case. I feel like it's egotistical to sit and think that we're these like higher powers that are like on a special mission throughout life. And obviously you do have a mission in life, but falling into that trap of thinking is it's gonna put you in this ego state. You know, you're gonna be putting yourself above everyone else because you genuinely believe that your life is some like godly experience. But what you need to understand is that it is and it isn't. And that's what I want you to understand in this video, is that life is meant to be something and it's also not meant to be something, and that's the beauty of it. Okay, everyone falls into the trap of thinking that their life just inherently by default has a higher meaning, and I'm arguing that it doesn't. I'm arguing that you need to be the person to give it meaning. And I think that's what a lot of like old scriptures they mean when they say that like God is within you. I don't think that means we're born to, like, we're not born by default as God, and we're not this like higher spiritual being by default, but it's all about the choice. It's all about you have the free will, and that's what makes you God, is you have that creative power. You can either channel it and increase your frequency and your quality of life, or you can decrease it. Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, is that we sit in the middle. So if we want our life to have meaning, we can give our life meaning. But if we don't understand that we can give our life meaning, and we just think we're just another life form on this floating rock in space, then our life's not going to have any meaning. So we're that neutrality. We're not gods in like with higher powers, but we're also not these like pointless beings. We are the neutrality in the middle, and we can choose to go either way, right? So many of you have probably seen this symbol, okay? The yin and yang symbol. Yeah. Now to me, what this means is you've got the positivity on one side and you've got the negativity on one side, and they're all spinning around the central point, which is the neutrality. Okay. Now we're made of positivity and negativity combined. When you combine positivity and negativity, you get neutrality. Okay. And the neutrality is neither one or the other, but it's both combined. So this means we can go in either direction, because we are inherently made of both. We are made of both positivity and negativity. And that's what makes us gods, is that we can choose either or. If you look at an animal, right, they're not capable of anything more than reproducing and surviving and eating and sleeping, and that's the limit of their being, right? But we have that conscious choice. We have that. So we can choose, do I want my life to have meaning? Yes. Okay. What does that look like? And then you can create that. Any question you have, you'll get an answer to, but you'll be met with more questions. And it's a never-ending cycle. You're never going to reach the end point or like when people say, oh, I'm enlightened, or I'm on the path to enlightenment, you get people saying they've achieved enlightenment, but I don't believe that there's like an end state for a human. Like I just don't think there is. I don't think there's like one goal that everyone needs to like be working towards, like one shared universal state of being that everyone needs to work towards. It's just, are you more aligned with positivity, love, peace, joy, bliss, you know, charity, compassion, gratitude, or are you more aligned with the negative, like lust, anger, shame, guilt, violence, all these things? Which direction do you want to go? You're born as a blank canvas made of both, and you pick one and you go in that direction. And you can go a little bit in one direction and then fall back and go in the other direction, but you always have the choice to go in one or the other direction. You're never bound to one, because you're made of both, right? You're made of both forces. So you always have the ability to pick one. Like, even like you get spiritual masters that fall into like the most heinous things. Like, I'm sure you've heard of like spiritual leaders doing horrendous things with children. It's like they obviously had to do a lot of good to get into that position, but then once they're in that position, they still were able to fall off and fall into the negative. So it's like there's no one state of like enlightenment where once you reach there, it's like you've completed life and then that's it, you're done. You just need to realize that. You need to realize that you're born in the middle, yeah, and then on the negative side of things you have your ego, and then on the positive side of things you have the like God consciousness, or like the God state, or like there's different words for it, but like the benevolence is that, and then the malevolence is that, yeah. And you can pick one because you're made of both. You're born neutral, and then if you fall into egotistical thought patterns and emotions and ways of living, you become bound to things like chasing money all the time, and women, and material things of this world. That takes up your entire life, and then that becomes your life. And then you never realize that there's much more to who you are and what you're made of than materialistic things, right? And then on the flip side of it, you can be born and you can realize that things like compassion and charity and love actually make a positive impact on people, not just physically but spiritually. You can bring someone out of suicide, like suicidal thoughts, or you can like give a homeless person shelter and make them feel safe, or you can share a deep loving bond with another person, and then you can seek that, you can make that your aim, but ultimately you always have both. And that's what like that's what life is about, in my opinion. It's just about waking up every day and choosing to do the right thing. It's not like once you reach a certain level you've completed life, that's it. I don't believe that that's a thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like you shouldn't chase enlightenment, thinking that once you get there, that's it. It's like a state you need to maintain, and you need to learn about who you really are, and you need to detach yourself from that, and you need to raise your consciousness up to that. So yeah.